Maclunky.
Welcome to the finals match between Tetrarain and Krusher, brought to you by Maclunky Gaming. Joining us today with expert commentary are Chrono and Tower number 9. Enjoy the match.
So defeating two upgrades at once is sometimes just massive against the upgrade decks.
Yeah. There's a lot of times where I've been playing on qi'ra, and yeah, qi'ra is not the end-all be-all, right? But when I've been playing against randoms who have Disabling Fangfighter in the main, and they, oh, I got your Darksaber, and they still lose because they did nothing other than play a 3-2 ship on R4. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we were discussing this earlier on the KTOD Discord, and I personally, I like Disabling Fangfighter, but I think Confiscate is a much better answer to Darksaber in particular.
Sure, but I guess what I'm saying is that it just doesn't move your strategy forward.
Yeah,
and so you're just kind of kicking the can down the road. And maybe if your deck's built in a way where it makes sense and it helps you a lot, then go for it. But not where I'd be looking to put in my main board.
I'll also say, I think, when this set was early, I was actually negative on Darksaber in Sabine decks for basically the reason that I thought people would be playing a lot of upgrade removal. And I'm like, I don't know if it's worth the risk because I could lose this and it would be really bad. But actually, you convinced me it was one of the KTOD, I think it was like the earlier Sabine roundtable thing. And you guys convinced me that it's like, I want to be the one asking the questions. If they answer it, okay, they answer it. But a lot of people won't answer it, and you'll just steal the game right there.
Yep. Yeah, and Rodney says, kicking the can against me is how you win. I can't disagree harder. Poe and Wrecker would like a word with you, my friend. You can't kick the can down. You got to be able to turn the corner and close it out.
It depends on the build.
Sure, yeah. If you're playing something that has like a really strong proactive top end, for sure.
Yeah, especially if you have a deck that can get into like healing mode with a reinforcement walker or redemption medical frigate or something like that to get out of the danger zone.
Plus,
that can be pretty nice. But can you get there against Sabine? Often you can't, to be honest.
Yeah, and then what about those games where they just don't have the Darksaber and they just play K2 and now you have a dead card in your hand?
Yeah, and you're like, oh well, I have this
cool.
in hand.
I'm glad. Yeah.
Ooh, okay, here we go. Krusher leads with a Bazine.
Yep, you like to see that turn one.
Bazine removing a Spark of Rebellion. Spicy.
Mm-hmm. You like to see it.
Tetra using Han's ability to resource a Han unit, bring out a Millennium Falcon, and swing in for 3.
Spark of Hope's not off aspect, Casero. It's on aspect.
Sorry, wait, what?
Spark of Hope. Never mind. Sorry, Spark of Hope. I thought,
it's not Spark, but it's not Spark of Hope there. It was Spark of Rebellion.
Spark of Rebellion, yeah.
And Spark of Rebellion is on aspect and also really annoying.
Yeah.
In fact, we even saw Tetrarain playing a turn 1 Spark of Rebellion in one of his earlier games. Not that it actually helped for him.
We do see the Falcon though, which especially I don't know how it plays out in set 2, but in set 1, Falcon was the big differentiator in these matchups with the Han.
Falcon is a very, very strong starting unit. Okay, so now so they're talking. Yeah, my mistake.
Talking about the
I thought you were talking about there are copies of Spark of Hope in the sideboard. To be honest with you, I don't know what that's about, but it might be secret tech. I thought you were talking about the Spark of Rebellion that we saw Krusher strip from the hand with Bazine Natal.
Yeah.
And the Army Kid says, I forgot you can just tap the resources you defeat with Han's ability. Yeah, that synergy is really good.
Yep.
And we're seeing here good old Bodhi Rook knocking a Waylay out of Krusher's hand. Now, playing that Bodhi does mean Krusher is going to be able to send his Super Laser Technician into it and get that ramp off. It might have been more favorable for Tetra if he had some play that he could use just to go to space. But, he may not have had that option. And given this deck list, what would it even be at this point?
Yeah, I mean, we're getting in if he can't deal with this Falcon, he's having to use a lot of his resources here. He's going to get in the cunning danger zone pretty quick.
Imagine the mega spicy. What's your play on turn 2? I'm going to play 2 crafty smugglers. Let's go.
Yeah, double craft.
And it looks like Krusher actually fired off a hotshot blaster there to let the super laser tech clear Bodhi and avoid taking 3 damage. I think he's very aware of the threat that Tetrarain's early aggression with this Falcon is posing.
Well, not just that. He could also have an OB in hand, and he's trying to get full untap from Boba.
Good point.
I'm not sure if that's the case, but I think he might be trying to maximize.
Liberated Slaves on the board. So 3 cost 3/5. And Liberated Slaves also has a big pile of traits, most of which don't do anything, but notably it is a Wookiee, among other things. Boba swings into the base. Tetra taking the initiative now. Bazine swinging into the base. Krusher on 5 resources here. We could see a barrage, but we don't. It's going to be 4 Loms swinging into the Liberated Slaves, but only doing 4 damage. The power of the 3/5 stat line keeping that unit alive. And I'm a little interested as to why we didn't see Bazine swing in, but now it becomes apparent with Bazine being sent back with Maclunky, clearing the Liberated Slaves, and now in hand again to potentially strip another card. The Army Kid says a vanilla 3/5 question mark.
I mean, we've been talking about it all day. 5 health is a huge breakpoint right now.
5 health, yeah, it's a big breakpoint these days. And you know, a really funny thing is I had a young Han yellow deck, and you can play 9 3-cost 3/5s, and that deck can play them as 2-cost 3/3s as well, which is kind of nasty. Because you can go 3, you could do 3 liberated slaves, 3 copies of Tech, and 3 copies of Cassian, all of which are 3-cost 3/5s that you can also play as a 2-cost 3/3.
I do love this cunning play. From
double exhaust and buff the Falcon.
Well, here's the thing, like, and people say this all the time. Oh, well, what about Waylay? And like, make them have it, right?
Yeah.
We talk about it. Make them have it here. You still got to tap down 2 units.
We already saw a Waylay, and it got sent to the discard pile by Bodhi Rook.
That's
so
true.
What are the odds that he drew 2 Waylays, you know?
Yep. I mean, it could have been an OB too. Right.
Yeah.
But,
absolutely
but make them have the answer. Right, make him have it.
Yeah, but he'd seen the hand recently, and he didn't see those answers waiting for him, and now he gets to swing in for 7 damage. By the way, an extremely nasty play is cunning with the old, with our old friend Toro Calican.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the fun things to do here with cunning, and I'm sure the Yellow Han players know this all too well, is being able to tap down. A lot of the play, it lets you get a Han flip, right? It lets you get that 4 damage from Han, which
and there we see
that's going to add up.
Charge into the base for another 4 damage, and Krusher is feeling the pain here on his base. I think he's taken 19 damage already. And with Han and the Falcon staying on board. Looks like there might be some kind of judge call here. It seems that perhaps Tetra forgot to use Han's on attack ability, which is mandatory.
Yep.
I think maybe that guy with the... Okay, so I guess they're randomly resourcing one of the 2 cards that he drew.
Yep.
And then he draws another card to replace it. Okay. Yep. Yeah, Spags. Han 1's on attack ability is mandatory. You do not have an option. You do not have an option to not do it, and sometimes it messes up your situation. It also gets you closer to decking out, though I think that is extremely unlikely to matter in this matchup.
Yeah, not the interaction that will matter here.
Very, very few matchups in this game naturally go to decking out, at least in constructed play. That type of interaction is a lot more common and limited, though, where the deck size is smaller.
He didn't need it to pay for Falcon because he had already done the Han ability to flip that turn, I think.
Yeah, that's the thing. Oh, and there's a maul to answer Han and deal 1 damage to base.
1 damage.
Now I will say, Krusher has a lot of damage piling up. You know, Tetra's been doing a lot of early damage, but Krusher has a very strong board in the ground arena. 3 more damage to base from that Falcon. Did he register it?
No, he did not add it yet.
It doesn't look like we've seen that damage go on the base yet. So it was at 19. Krusher's base should now be at 22 damage taken. Oh, what do you bounce here? Salacious Crumb.
Interesting.
Yeah, at 22. Sorry. I had it written.
Okay, and it looks like Tetra catches, or Tetra or Krusher or both catches the discrepancy on the base HP. Krusher incorrectly discards Salacious Crumb instead of sending it back to hand, and Tetra points out that that should be back to hand. That is a gentlemanly and correct thing to do in that scenario. Spags asks, no active judging. I'm not sure whether there's active judging or not. I don't currently have the game audio on, so I don't know whether a judge pointed that out or whether Tetra caught it.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, everybody. They're definitely playing a little bit fast, which I don't really think is very smart. However, they are also been playing a very, very long time.
Yeah, and we do have confirmation here that there is judging present. So, not sure what exactly is going on, but it is there.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're nervous, right? I'm sure that's where they're at.
Yeah. Yeah, Clariosaurus says final stress, long day. Absolutely. That is a totally real thing. And, you sometimes get people who, might not be aware of all the aspects of these sorts of situations who will come and comment and stuff and be like, oh, I think this guy's cheating. He forgot to put that damage on his base. And it's like, is it possible that someone would do something like that on purpose? Yeah, but let's be real. It's also a very easy mistake to be made when you're on your 20-second game of the day or something and have been playing for 9 hours straight or whatever it is.
No, exactly. I'm sure Krusher here is thinking, does it make sense to just claim, or do I need to get the 4 damage in? Because it is true, yeah. Because he has a blaster.
Claim.
Yeah, because he wants to kill the unit to not get blasted in the face, right? He doesn't want to take.
And I think it's fair to claim here. I think that's a good play.
Yep.
Because the corner is not fully turned.
Agreed, 100%. He's still in danger.
He's still bleeding damage, and claiming here is going to allow him to take out that Cantina bouncer. Does he want to have an overwhelming barrage on Maul to kill both units? Yeah, it'd be great. But even if he doesn't have that, just having Maul swing into the bouncer is better than some other options. But he does have the barrage. That is big for Tetra. Wipes the board. Or I'm sorry, that's big for Krusher against Tetra. But now Tetra brings out the old Millennium Falcon round 2. He had a second one waiting in the wings, and it's going to be able to put another 3 damage on Crusher's base this turn unless there's some answer. And at that point, Tetra is looking at draw surprise strike, win the game.
Did we mess something up? Why does it look like has 4 resources tapped down? Shouldn't he only have 3 on the Tetra side?
He exhausted 1 to pay for the Falcon maintenance.
Oh, right. Okay, so he did not haunt ability last turn. Okay.
Not on the previous turn, I don't think.
Yep, sounds right.
The Army Kid says he's back, and Krusher may have thought he dealt with the Falcon, but there it is, a thorn in his side yet again. And the Millennium Falcon is really a very strong card in this game.
Here is where it was like maybe the claiming there didn't work out, right? It's tough because he didn't get that 4 damage in, and it's going to add up because the actions.
If he doesn't claim there, he does eat the 3 damage. If he doesn't claim there, he does eat the 3 damage from the Cantina bouncer.
Yeah, he gets. The thing is here though, he has a waylay, but we get to replay the Falcon.
Waylay bounces the Falcon, but Tetra can just play the same Falcon again. Mm-hmm. Coming into play ready is very strong in this game.
Agreed. I think you got to play it again. I mean, I don't know what's in his hand.
I just slam it down. Let's see that Falcon. I'm surprised he's hesitating actually.
Yeah, I guess we don't know what's in his.
It looks like based on his hand movements, I think he's doing some mental math and trying to figure out how many actions each of them has to win.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is getting into racing zone for sure.
Yeah, but
Tetra's trying to make sure that he will win the race.
He's up.
Especially because it will take Krusher many actions to use his units here.
The only thing he does lose to would be his the surprise strike, right? If he gets a Maul here for 9 into a Maul for 10. That does
Maul. So a Maul, a surprise. Well, but there isn't a. Oh yeah, Maul for 9, and then a surprise strike or another hot shot would win it.
Yeah.
Or no, it has to be surprise strike. Hot shot doesn't get him there. It would leave him at 1 HP. What a close game.
Very close game. But I think you got to make again. You got to make him have it here because I don't know how you're winning it any other way from this.
You got that right. And I'm looking at the deck lists here, and Tetra is running 3 copies of Surprise Strike in his main deck. And we're taking a look here to see, do we have a main decked Surprise Strike here? I don't think we have a main decked Surprise Strike here.
He does not have it in the main?
In fact, he doesn't even have it in the 60. He's relying on those hotshot blasters.
That changes this turn a lot.
Let's see if Krusher has some answer to that Falcon. If not, now to be fair, does Tetra have a Surprise Strike? I don't know. He might not.
Cunning's pretty good too.
This game is getting down to the wire. We're well into the game, and it's coming down to what each player has in hands on this, which will probably be the last turn, maybe the second to last turn. Swanee says Boba Grain usually doesn't play Surprise Strike. Some ECLs do. What do we have? Bazine. Oh, Bazine could
finds the Cunning.
There's a Cunning and a Waylay, but
the Waylay's good
deck here.
The Waylay's good. I think the Waylay is still very powerful here, isn't it?
Yeah, what do you do here? You Waylay Maul and save 7 damage?
Yeah, you Waylay Maul, attack for 3 claim. And we're on the same... No. Oh, he's thinking about it. Okay.
His hand went to the Falcon. He presumably did not top deck a Surprise Strike, which would...
He's got a Waylay, yeah. He
throws the Waylay onto Maul, denying 7 damage. Now Krusher is going to be able to do 8 damage, assuming he has no damage boosts, which means that Krusher is no longer has lethal.
Correct, which is extremely important.
Unless there's a Hotshot Blaster. Oh, man, how good would a Cunning Exhaust 2 buff 4 have been there? It would be huge.
It would have been huge. But, I mean, we've seen the Bazine be MVP this entire finals, right?
Bazine's been huge. Krusher looking at his opponent's discard pile to try to see what options Tetra has and what options Tetra doesn't.
All the strikes, it looks like.
All the strikes?
I didn't see any Surprise Strikes in the bin.
But he doesn't have one in hand, or he would have just won the game.
Correct.
Okay, here's a really spicy thing. What if he top decked the 3rd Falcon and gets to double Falcon to win?
That's could happen too, for sure.
3 damage to base. Is there a hot shot here to close the game? Is there a hot shot here to close the game for Krusher? No hot shot. Here's the thing. Casero says gotta have the hot shot, right? He doesn't have. Oh, but it's Fett's Fire Spray. Tetra took the initiative to try to win on the first action of the next turn, but Fett's Fire Spray comes out to win the game for Krusher. That was about as close as it gets.
Yeah, great game. Great game.
Well played to both players. That was an intense match, and we do have a victory there for Krusher. And now the players are going to the sideboard. Let's see what happens in game 2. And to finish my thought from earlier, Casero, while Krusher is playing 3 Hotshot Blasters, he actually used one early in the game to remove Bodhi Rook with, I believe, a Salacious Crumb?
Yep.
Man, and Bazine, a real MVP there. If not for Bazine, I think Cunning wins the game for Tetra. So very interesting, intense game. And even with Bazine, there was a chance that Bazine would give Tetra a winning top deck, but it didn't pan out. Super Laser Tech, not Salacious Crumb with the blaster. Thanks, guys. It's been a long day of casting for me as well. Tetra with the initiative, and we are seeing the players make their sideboarding calls. So if you're Tetra, I don't know, maybe we're going to see whatever tech explains the out-of-aspect Spark of Hope. I personally don't understand that at all, but maybe there's something spicy with it. And I think the 3rd Millennium Falcon is quite likely to come in from the sideboard, and we might be seeing that change of heart for Tetra as well. Both players on 3 Hotshot Deal 44s, and I think Hotshot Deal 44 is really a standout card in the from set 2 for a lot of yellow decks. It's pretty funny because while notionally a red card, it's so good that it sees play in decks that don't have red at all and only play it from Smuggle.
Yep, 100%. It's definitely more of a yellow card than red. I can't think of a single time I've played it from hand, right, without the additional ability.
Spag says, shouts Tower, shouts Chrono, shouts to whomever was on this morning. Yeah, we had some different co-casters earlier. I had my friend Endless from Yavin Base, and then I had a little bit with Frank, aka Soldak from the Bothan Network, who jumped on and was accompanied by another player whose name I am unfortunately forgetting at this time, who was hanging out with him at the time and was able to join the cast as well. And I've been happy to be casting this game for y'all and to have others joining me for the co-cast experience.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Really good games. We got to see some excellent games today.
Yeah. Now, personally, I hope I get to keep casting for longer. I hope we see Tetra get the win and go into a game 3 for the finals.
Yep.
And yeah, Savage says Phil Ritchie was the one who was there with Frank. So shout out to Phil as well. So Duke of York suggests Spark of Hope lets you Han before Boba in the yellow Boba matchup. So maybe that's the spicy counterplay tech that we were hearing about.
Huh.
We're seeing some other shout outs to us in the chat. Casero says, you've been a rock star. Can't believe you still have a voice. I am used to
It's a lot of talking. Yeah, you've done a lot. It's a long day.
I'm used to casting long events at a time, and in the past, I would even cast some long events solo, which I would rather not do, but I have done it before. But maybe I'll make myself a mug of tea or something after this.
Smart. That's smart.
How much water have you gone through today, Tower? That's an interesting question. I've had some LaCroix, and I did find myself drinking an energy drink as well to help power through a long day of casting after getting up early here on the West Coast. Not entirely sure what's going on here, but it seems like we're getting ready for game 2. Maybe some intense shuffling there from Krusher. And yeah, Savage, thanks for the concern. We have had a lunch break and we have had some breaks between games earlier on, so it hasn't exactly been the most intense casting schedule ever.
Yeah, we had a lot of games end pretty early. A lot of time in between. Later, especially.
KH4 says, will the stream be available to rewatch on Twitch or YouTube afterwards? I believe we are. I believe this is being saved as a VOD, so you will be able to watch it on the Maclunky Gaming Twitch channel at the very least. I'm not sure about YouTube or other things afterwards, but at the very least, the VOD should be around for a time. And I believe one of the organizers from Maclunky was saying they were going to separate out the videos into like edits for the specific matches as well. We did have a bit of disruption to the stream during round 1, but we have, I think things have been pretty good since then. Trained Target says the Game Genic sleeves are Teflon on ice for the first week you have them. Yeah, slippery sleeves can be a problem. I've definitely scooted some of my cards off the table and onto the floor when shuffling before. And Krusher is using those official FFG or Game Genic official Star Wars Unlimited Vader full art sleeves, which are some nice looking sleeves. That being said, he isn't actually playing a Vader deck, so you know. Slightly off theme.
A little off theme, but he does have Vader unit in
Yeah,
his deck.
no, that's true. He's got Unit Vader in there for sure. At one point, I saw one of his sleeves and was like, whoa, we're going to see a match with someone playing Vader, because I thought it was a Leader Vader card, but it was not.
Yep. I mean, taking some time here. I think it's right for Krusher to take his time, think this through, make the right decision.
Look, you get an extended time period in the top cut, and you are absolutely within your rights to use that time. There is no rule that says you have to be the fastest fast player ever.
I can't see what that first card is, but it looks like Cantina Bouncer and DJ are the other two.
Capo Panda says, Team Maclunky about to take this home to Long Island. Let's go. Presumably rooting for, I believe Krusher is a Team Maclunky member. Or Maclunky Gaming.
Oh, it's Greedo is the other one. Greedo's the other one. I mean, I imagine he has to take DJ here.
DJ can be okay. So DJ for one.
He
thing,
doesn't
DJ
take
is
anything.
a very solid play. Wait, no, he didn't take it. He didn't take anything.
Right, which is interesting because if he draws another 3-drop,
okay. If he plays DJ, it's just a 3/5.
Yeah, but that's what he wants. That's his strategy.
No, it's true. I mean, you don't want to let your opponent curve out, but maybe he thinks it's not worth the risk. He could draw something better. He could draw a Falcon.
Yeah, but if you see your opponent playing a vanilla 3/5, obviously he wants a 3/5.
True.
You know what I mean?
It's absolutely true.
Obviously, that's his strategy.
Tetra has that liberated slaves in there means a 3/5 is worth it in his view, even if it doesn't do anything. But it's not going to be the 3/5. It's going to be a Bodhi Rook, also a strong card.
Also a strong card. Yep.
And there's a Waylay getting stripped from the hand.
Wow,
we do see right there in the hand, though, the Syndicate lackeys are waiting. And I can only imagine... Oh, now that is interesting. I was about to wrongly predict that Krusher would just take initiative here and send in the lackeys to clear Bodhi, but he actually uses Bazine Natal to clear L3's shield. I'm a little surprised there because it does mean Bodhi's going to get to swing in for 3 without being removed by those lackeys, which would seem to me to be a natural response at this point.
But this is the same thing with not taking the DJ, right? It's like the last game came down to you had one more action than your opponent, right?
Mm.
And so
is it really worth taking the small actions?
Right, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We'll see though. It might pay off.
So one thing he could do is he could bring out the lackeys to clear L3. But now that's less value than clearing Bodhi.
For sure.
Oh, but it's going to be a Cloud Rider for L3. So I think that was a draw from the top of the deck there. And that is a solid answer.
So if you're on Tetra's side here, okay, Kira's
it's qi'ra.
Nice.
Maul
he's gonna take the
Syndicate lackeys. Hey, I think the Syndicate lackeys are going to no-show this turn.
Yep, I think it's Syndicate lackeys that really...
Wait a minute. Krusher could still get the Syndicate lackeys on the field. We could see Bazine and Boba swing into qi'ra to clear her, and then the Syndicate lackeys can still be played to clear Bodhi.
For sure, but I think you're pretty happy about that as the aggro deck here.
Ooh, it's gonna be a hot shot.
Okay. Hot shot, a little less positive, but you do make it so your opponent does not get an untap this turn, or I mean, it does get an untap, but doesn't get like a Boba into Han leader flip, right? You get because he's gonna flip Han this turn, right?
No, he only has 4 resources.
No, next turn. That's next turn. That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot he ramped.
qi'ra is a pretty good card, by the way.
Did Boba ramp this game? Did I miss that?
Yes, there was a resupply on turn 2.
Okay, I missed that.
Surprise strike. Is it into the base or is it into Boba? It's Boba.
Into Boba. That's smart. I like that.
Yeah, he isn't racing as fast as he was last game. Maybe if you had that Falcon out swinging away, you would go for the base. Yep. But getting rid of the Boba with that hotshot blaster on him and precluding the potential Boba's armor play that could cause you a lot of trouble seems smart. Krusher mulling over his options. Does have that Syndicate Lackeys in hand, unless he's resourced it. Also, I think we had a Maul in hand, but that won't be playable this turn.
Yeah. Maul and Lackeys probably are the two other three here, maybe.
Lackeys, unfortunately. Oh, but there, Bazine Natal makes a. Now wait a minute. He plays Bazine and already has Bazine, so he's got to get rid of one of his Bazines.
Mm-hmm.
He gets rid of the one that he gets rid of the new one, and it looks like, what is that? That's a change of heart. Change of heart getting picked off. I think he sees the potential that change of heart has for stealing Maul or something, and decides he doesn't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
I don't know though. 4 for a Bazine. It's not the tightest play on the earth. Especially now that it means Han can deploy and swing, but if Han deploys and swings, Maul is waiting for him now.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what else we have on the other side here off that Bazine draw.
Yeah, what was the Bazine topped at?
I'm not sure. I don't know if we get to see it.
1 damage to base. From the I also, let's be real, I probably would have kept the undamaged Bazine rather than this swing. I don't know, maybe the swing for 1 is better if you're thinking that she dies to Maul anyway. Yeah, maybe the swing for 1's better.
Yeah, because you're just gonna have the damage.
Imagine another qi'ra here blocking Maul. No, but it's gonna be a tech. And we are entering big resource land where tech really matters a lot.
For sure.
So let's say that you're Krusher here. You have your Maul in hand. Are you going for Han or are you going for tech?
No, you got to go for Han because you don't want to get Han unit.
Yeah, so I think Han has bigger numbers, and Han also has the ability to give that extra resource. Mm-hmm. So I think you go for Han here.
Yeah, let's say he goes tech, right, and then we get a Han into the Han unit into the Maul.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, that'd be devastating. Yeah, Han ramp into unit Han to kill Maul would be pretty nasty. Mm-hmm. Unit Han is a really, really good card in my opinion.
Yeah, it's super good.
And actually maybe an underplayed or underrated card. I think a lot of people have been big on like Boba on Unit Luke and Unit Vader. I think Unit Han is at least sometimes better than those two because he can just keep picking off unit after unit, and he's extremely annoying to deal with if you don't have some hard removal option.
Yep, yeah, and ambush is a great keyword.
Ooh.
So interesting.
It is going to be going for tech. Are we going to see Tetra punishing that with the Unit Han as we were discussing? His leader Han can now swing and give him that 7th resource that he would need for the Unit Han. There's the swing. Is it going to be base or is it going to be clearing Bazine?
And you take 4 damage. Interesting.
Yeah, it's base.
Yeah, it's got to be base.
3 resources. Super. What? Okay.
Interesting turn.
Not the hypest play on the earth. I'm surprised, but it is another unit, and it could ramp him towards like big end games, or even just playing multiple cards in a turn. Now, if Tetra has a unit Han here, he can use it to clear the Syndicate Lackeys, but it is then potentially vulnerable to being hit by Maul. But there's a Spark of Rebellion. Goodbye, Maul.
The Spark is big too. I think we're getting punished for not playing the Maul.
This is so interesting with the players playing all these effects that see one another's hands and really very, very tactical back and forth. Here's how I counter this. Here's how I counter that type gameplay. And that is a copy of Cantina Bouncer seeing play to bounce that Super Laser Technician. And now the Syndicate Lackeys are poised to trade with Han.
Yeah, I would have bounced the Lackeys.
Naturally going to hit 7 resources for a potential Han Solo reluctant leader, reluctant hero.
I'm not sure why you don't bounce the Cantina Bouncer there. Make your opponent have to pay 5 to take your Han out, right? Why let him take your Han out for free?
You mean bounce the Syndicate Lackeys? Yeah, I could see that.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I don't think he cares that much about denying the extra resource in the Super Laser Tech. I think I'm with you. I think bouncing the Syndicate Lackeys would be stronger.
Imagine if the opponent
maybe he accepts this trade and considers it to be favorable, and he's like, whatever, man. Now my opponent doesn't have this option.
I guess.
The Cantina Bouncer now the only thing alive on the board and swings away into Crusher's base for another 3 damage. Krusher has now taken 16 damage, while Tetra has only taken 2.
Yeah, I would like if my opponent had spent 5 resources to kill my guy this turn.
No, yeah, I think that's a very fair point, Chrono. And it seems like the chat agrees. Swanee says agreed, Kronos, and Casero22 says, yep, not sure what he was protecting by hitting the SLT. Krusher brings out good old Greedo. using
the Greed Boy.
I believe, organized play promo version of that card.
It's hot. I like it.
Yukanu says, nah, I think that was good.
Yeah, okay.
Tetra thinking over. So here's an interesting thing. Greedo, in principle, actually trades with the Cantina Bouncer here if he hits the lucky. What the heck?
He had no plays?
What was in his hand?
Oh, man.
He had no plays and he had nothing to bring out via smuggle? I'm stunned. 7 resources and nothing to do. Maybe all he has is like change of heart and stuff. There's Maul. 2 damage to base. Does Tetra have like a unit Han or something to answer this Maul?
Maybe. Maybe that's what he's been waiting for.
Yeah, maybe it's been all reaction. That's not 7 resources being exhausted. How's a Tech Liberator gunship with no ambush? That is not what you want to be seeing. I'm starting to think Tetra must have just been hitting some bad draws in the last few turns. Shanghai Knight suggested that it was a pass from Tetra followed by a claim from Krusher. Yeah, I could see that. Like Tetra passes with some reactive thing and Krusher just claims and goes for Maul.
Yeah, I don't. We really took his foot off the gas here, and I think it's going to come back to bite him.
It's not over yet, but I think Tetra's last 2 turns have been really underwhelming in a situation where you want to be turning on the gas.
And I think you honestly want your opponent to have to play Maul earlier. Like, I don't know. It's not like the Maul goes away because you just pass a bunch. The Maul, like, especially if you don't have the Han unit already.
Three to base. 19 damage on Crusher's base now, 11 HP remaining. Tetra at a comparatively safe 23 remaining, but likely to take 9 this turn. And maybe more if we see a hot shot.
He's going to take 10.
Oh, yeah, that's right. 10. Yeah. For some reason, I was thinking Greedo was going to swing for 2.
Yeah, no, he's on a clock right now.
Yeah.
He's not the aggressor right now. He's definitely not the pass and let your opponent do what they want. Right.
Those last 2 turns have been very slow for Tetra, and it is not what he needs. Another Auzitech Liberator and no ambush. He must be seeing just like the worst draws here. Honestly, I'm surprised he even cited the Auzitech Liberator in. It does not seem very strong in this matchup.
At all.
But maybe he just wants to have more stuff in the space arena in general.
Yeah, it's a big booty spaceship, I guess, for sure. But it's overcosted because of the ambush. So I don't.
Yeah, it's true. Where you really want that is when you're dealing with like
red 3s.
I don't know. It's Sabine. Here come the Rebel fighters. Here's a great card for answering red 3. Here's a great card for taking out those annoying copies of what's it called, Lurking TIE Phantom in those Tarkin builds. Auzitech Liberator is like actually super sick against the Phantoms.
Yeah.
Oh, that's spicy. L3 brought in via smuggle. Double ambushed.
Yeah, I think this is going to be it.
Tetra is in big trouble now. His deck has just seemingly left him out of gas. Can he recover here? Krusher only has 11 HP on base. Okay, here's a funny line of play. Surprise strike, 6 damage. Second surprise strike, 6 damage, win the game. Let's see it. That's not it. Oh, change of heart for Maul. It's a big play, but here's the thing. Krusher can just trade one of his existing units for Maul. He's not that sad about that, I think. And if he has a waylay, he can take his own Maul back to hand. What do you do here if you're Krusher, Chrono?
You just kill them all with.
You just throw Greedo into Maul,
right?
That's probably what I would do. I mean, it's unfortunate. It's the change of heart ends up being a pretty sweet 2-for-1, but I don't think he can let that Maul swing, because if he doesn't do something to deal with Maul, then Maul swings, kills Greedo, and it's 6 damage on base, and still dies. So he has to do something. Maybe he can exhaust Maul or bounce him or something. But if he doesn't have some trick, I think he has to just grit his teeth and take the trade. It's a Cloud Rider to answer Maul. That is a more aggressive play there from Krusher. Those Cloud Riders have been getting a lot of value for him.
Definitely
3 damage to base. Did they put the damage on? I don't think I saw it. The other Aztec Liberator gets waylaid.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm at 22. So...
They didn't put the damage on, but they're fixing it now. 26. Han uses a resource. 5 to base. 8 HP remaining. He brings... Wait, what? Okay, he brings out the other Aztec Liberator.
Yeah.
4 from Forlom. Krusher does not have 6 resources for a Fet's Fire Spray. If Tetra has... But a Surprise Strike doesn't win the game for Tetra.
Cunning into hope. He doesn't have... Yeah, doesn't even do it.
He takes 3 more damage from Boss. What are we looking at?
Yeah.
And there's a Boba Disintegrator. I think Tetra's done. I think his deck just... His deck just completely ran out of gas there in the mid-game, and he was not able to continue his early aggression. Really unfortunate. It looked like he was in a winning position for this game, but with those turns just being Aztec Liberators and one turn where he played nothing, he was not able to get the pressure that he needed to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad this deck was pretty spicy, but he wasn't playing very good cards there. He was playing some...
Thanks for watching and supporting Maclunky Gaming. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.